Okay, my dear students, in this part we are going to discuss few more important thing about the chapter microorganism, friend or foe. So, what are harmful microorganisms? Certain microorganisms could be harmful in many ways. Some of the microorganisms can cause diseases in human beings, plants, and animals. Such disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Not all microorganisms are pathogens, but those who cause diseases. So, pathogens can enter our body through the air we breathe, or through the water we drink, or through the food we eat. They can also get transmitted by direct contact with an infected person or carried through an animal. For example, the COVID-19 gets directly transmitted from one infected person to a healthy person. So these type of diseases which get spread from a infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food or physical contact are called communicable diseases. For example, cholera, common cold, chickenpox, tuberculosis are communicable diseases. And there are another type of diseases which are called non-communicable diseases. That means they do not spread from an infected person to a healthy person. For example, diabetes. When a person is suffering from common cold, the person is asked to keep a handkerchief while sneezing or to maintain the distance from other people while sneezing or coughing. So what happens generally is the coughing releases thousands of viruses, and these viruses get spread in the air. So the virus may enter the body of the healthy person while breathing, and thus the infection could be spread by air. Now, here in this table there are some common human diseases which are caused by microorganisms. So, there are certain diseases like tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox, polio, which are generally caused by different microorganisms. TB is caused by bacteria. Rest of the three diseases are caused by virus. Their mode of transmission is same, that is air. Okay, so generally the infection that get transmitted through the air, in that case the person must be kept in complete isolation. Complete isolation means should be kept alone. No one should go near that person. The person should be given a separate room to live. So keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of others. All the personal belongings like the bed sheet of the patient or the clothes or the towel, all the things should be kept differently from others, and vaccination should be also given at suitable age. Cholera and typhoid are another type of two diseases which are spread by bacteria, and they are generally transmitted through the contaminated. Cholera is spread from the contaminated food or water, and typhoid is spread through water. So what is important is to maintain the personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. We must stay clean if we are suffering from any kind of disease. Also, the properly cooked food should be consumed and boiled drinking water should be only taken. Vaccination should also be taken. Hepatitis A. How does this hepatitis A occurs? It generally is caused by a virus, and the mode of transmission is water. Contaminated water is the reason why hepatitis A occurs. So, what should be done in this case is drink boiled drinking water. Okay, and vaccination could also be a savior. Malaria is spread through the protozoa, and the malaria is only transmitted through the mosquito, that is female Anopheles. What we can do to prevent the malaria is we should use the mosquito nets and mosquito repellents. We can also spray the insecticides and control the breeding of mosquitoes. So, several microorganisms not only cause disease in humans and plants but also in other animals. For example, anthrax is a dangerous human and cattle disease which is caused by a bacterium, and it leads to foot and mouth disease of cattle, and this is caused by a bacillus. This is caused by a bacillus which is also called Bacillus anthracis. Okay. So Robert Koch discovered the bacterium, that is Bacillus anthracis, which causes the anthrax disease. Disease causing microorganism in plant. Several microorganisms cause disease in plant like wheat, rice, potato, sugarcane, orange, apple and others. The diseases reduce the yield of crop. Yield means the growth of crops. They can be controlled by the use of certain chemicals which kill the microbes. Okay. So, there are certain common plant disease like citrus canker, which is caused by the bacteria and it is generally transmitted through the air. As you can see in the figure, there are orange brownish patches onto the oranges and it spoils the oranges. Then comes the rust of wheat, which is caused by the fungi. It generally gets transmitted through the air or through the seeds. Then comes the yellow vein mosaic of bhindi, which is also known as okra. So it is caused by a virus and it is spread through the insect. Now, I think most of you would be familiar to the word food poisoning. What is food poisoning? As we know that certain microorganisms produce harmful substances, they can even lead to the spoilage of food. And this food, if consumed by us, can lead to several complications. Okay, such food which is unfit for our consumption causes the food poisoning. So, spoiled food has bad smell and bad taste, and thus it should be prevented or protected by microorganisms. So, we will discuss few methods of preservation by which we can prevent the spoilage of food. The first is the chemical method. Food like pickles can be preserved by using chemicals like salt, edible oils. Jams and squashes can be preserved by using sodium benzoate, sodium metabisulfite. These chemicals are called preservatives. Second, by using common salt. Food items like fish, meat, amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. can be preserved by using common salt. Now, this common salt, what it does is it dehydrates the food. It takes out the water out of the food. You would have seen whenever you would be eating a piece of cucumber and you would have applied salt on top of it, so the water comes out of the cucumber. So this water is the main reason for the growth of microorganisms. You would have observed many a times that wherever it is moist and humid or wherever it is a bit hot, the microorganisms grow there easily. So salt generally dehydrates the food, it takes the water out. Thus microorganisms fail to grow there. Then the next method is by using sugar. Food items like jams, jellies, squashes can be preserved by using sugar solution. It prevents the growth of microorganisms. So sugar generally creates a thick layer and this layer does not allow the oxygen to be taken by the microorganism. Thus, they fail to grow. Then the next is by using oil and vinegar. Food items like pickles, vegetable, fish, meat, etc. are preserved by using oil and vinegar. It prevents the growth of microbes. So we all know that oil and vinegar are more lighter than the water, so they make a separate layer above the water, and thus they cut the oxygen supply. Next is by heat and cold treatments. Heating food items kills microbes. Similarly, storing food items at low temperature prevents the growth of microorganisms. So the scientist called the Louis Pasteur has given the method of pasteurization. What is pasteurization? It is a process in which the milk is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 seconds, and then it is suddenly chilled to prevent the growth of microbes. Firstly, it is exposed for 15 to 30 seconds, okay, on heat, and then it is exposed to the UV rays to kill the organism, and after that it is suddenly cooled down. This method is called pasteurization, as this was discovered by the Louis Pasteur. Next is by storage and packaging. Many food items are stored in airtight containers to protect them from microbes. These airtight containers do not allow the air to reach them. Now, let's discuss about the last topic of our chapter, that is nitrogen cycle. Atmospheric nitrogen is available in the form of N2, molecular nitrogen N2. There are certain bacteria like rhizobium and blue-green algae which fix this atmospheric nitrogen, and they convert into a easy form, into a simplified form which can be taken up by the soil. So basically it converts the atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates and nitrites. These compounds are added in the soil, and through the soil they are taken up by the plant, and then the plants are eaten up by the animals. These animals, when they excrete or whenever they die, they again add the compounds of nitrogen back to the soil. And there are other bacteria which convert this compounds of nitrogen back into the atmospheric nitrogen. So this whole cycling of nitrogen goes on in the surrounding. Okay, this is the reason why nitrogen is present in such high amounts in our atmosphere. And one more important thing is that the fixing of nitrogen into nitrites and nitrates is called nitrification, and the process of conversion of the compounds of nitrogen back into the atmospheric nitrogen is called, what is it called? Denitrification. You know one more thing, that the atmospheric nitrogen can also be directly fixed by lightning. Yes, lightning generates lots of energy, so by lightning also the atmospheric nitrogen can get converted into the compounds of nitrogen. So this is all that I explained you is described here. Okay guys, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any queries you can directly contact me. Thank you.